Hi everyone, welcome to Ethernal Realms and welcome to this video. We will talk about the June astrology and we will also get into your zodiac specific behavior throughout this month. I will still be making tarot videos, so if you're interested in a tarot reading, you can access that as I upload it. Subscribe and hit the bell so you are notified whenever the videos are up. So on the 2nd of the month, we have Venus in Cancer trining with Neptune in your sign, and this is a favorable aspect. Brings you under some spotlight in a pleasant way. You're feeling harmonious and connected with your loved ones as well. The way that you are expressing yourself is as well fulfilling for you. Spending some time with your hobbies or just your Friday evening time is going to be especially nice here. The 5th house is being activated with Cancer and Venus is here at this time, meaning that there's some nice romantic gestures you might receive, or you are the one expressing your affection and it is being reciprocated. So that makes you feel really good and confident about yourself. Okay, now on the 4th, we have a full moon in Sagittarius. So the sun is in Gemini, your 4th house, and the moon is in Sagittarius, your 10th house. So the 4th is about your inner self, your home and family, your ancestral roots as well. And Sagittarius, your 10th house, is about expansion in the professional world, the public status that you have, and how do you see the world in general, what do you want to be in the world, and how do strangers see you as well. So there can be a spotlight that is coming through for you. Other people might be reaching out to you. Your family wants to connect with you. And also just in general, if you're a teacher, an advisor, a mentor, even if you're not these things by profession, these are the things that other people recognize about you and appreciate and admire a lot about you as well. So there can be some additional knowledge and heightened perceptivity that comes through on this day. This can make you feel a little bit anxious, not anxious, but you might want to spend some more time by yourself and not really with the outside world necessarily. So if you're someone who's a little bit more introverted or shy or does not like that spotlight so much, it might feel a little bit unpleasant, but the spotlight itself is a very pleasant one. The same day, we have Mercury joining with Uranus in the sign of Taurus, and that's your 3rd house. There can be unexpected communication, unexpected travel plans as well that come up on this day. And you might be pleasantly surprised by this. This is a long time coming, actually. Since the end of April, when Mercury went retrograde, right before it did, it was just about to make this conjunction, but it was not able to. It started going retrograde, so now we are here and it's long overdue. So it could have been that you probably made some travel plans, or you were thinking to yourself that you would like to travel more with like-minded people or connect with like-minded people, expand your network, etc. But there were some delays or other things that you were dealing with first before you could come to this point. So finally we are there. On the 5th, we have Venus moving into Leo, and this is a special transit because it's going to be here for quite some time. Now, Leo is about passion, it's your work ethic, it's your everyday life, also your creativity. If you're a creator or a performer in some way, then this is going to bring more appreciation, gratitude, and skill into these sections. Apart from that, the 6th house also rules your health and the way you come into service to the world. So looking at your heart health, maybe adding some cardio exercises, eating better, taking care of your fiber, things of that nature, surrounding yourself with loved ones, nature, fire, whatever it is that calls to you and kind of soothes you down as well, is going to come up as a topic with Venus here. And while it is retrograde, there can be some recalibration as well, because the person you are now is not the same as the person you were in the previous decades, and now you're kind of updating your daily life and your routines accordingly to make sure you squeeze in some self-care and self-love as well. So on the same day, we also have an opposition with Pluto in Aquarius, and that's your 12th house. So I think you're prioritizing more your sleep time or your rest time. You're not pushing yourself too hard, but there can be some unexpected situations that come out of nowhere that make you need to work harder or kind of put that compromise or that sacrifice a little bit of your personal time. So you have your schedule already planned and you have incorporated some aerobic exercises later on, whatever it is. It's just an example, of course, but They can be out of nowhere some people that are wanting to connect with you, and maybe they're on the other side of the world, so you have to maybe respond to some emails at night, even if it is off work hours. Or it can be that you're feeling a little bit stressed about the meeting you have the next day, so there can be some trouble sleeping. So once again, account for that. Have some chamomile tea or something like that that soothes your nerves to help you sleep better. On the 7th, we have Venus in Leo squaring with North Node in Taurus, and this is going to be your 3rd and your 6th houses. So this one can feel a little bit uncomfortable for you because you're a mutable sign, and Leo and Taurus are fixed signs, and they're a little bit resistant to change. Now, North Node is already an uncomfortable point for each one of us, regardless of whether it's in your birth chart or in the transit section. We're learning new things, but it's also very fulfilling once we start moving forward and move past the initial uncomfortable hurdle. So this aspect is something like that, where you have a lot of connections and communication, and it might be exhausting to connect with someone that you're not familiar with or try something new that you've not done before. But when you do, you feel excited by it, and it opens up new doors or new opportunities that you didn't even know existed. Okay, so it's kind of pleasant surprises, but that discomfort in the beginning might put off many people for this one. So yes, apply it as you see fit. On the 11th, we have Mercury moving into Gemini, which is its home sign. And it is also going to be trining Pluto in Aquarius, which is your 12th house. So Gemini is in your 4th house and 12th house is Aquarius. So this means that you are prioritizing your sleep time, your rest time, and spending time with your close people. You're also listening to yourself more, paying attention to your own needs and wishes. You're also perhaps reading in your alone time or thinking in your alone time. Some imagination as well can come through. Some ideas can come in that are especially inspiring for you. Some of you can get some visions and prophetic dreams which foretell that there's some good stuff coming in. The same day, we have Pluto, which is already retrograde in Aquarius, moving back into Capricorn, where it was since 2008. So we are revising the lessons we have already learned, the transformations we've already learned, and we're likely to bring these lessons back into Aquarius when Pluto turns direct again. But in the meantime, we might be applying whatever new things we're learning now into the Capricornian part of our lives. So the priority of your sleep, your rest, your self-care time, the power of surrender, imagination, and intuition, these things can be especially highlighted. And as Pluto moves into Capricorn, you're changing your network, or you're connecting with the existing network in a different way. Maybe you want to change your organization or the way that you come to help the community. Maybe you're feeling more charitable and generous, and you want to figure out how can you achieve those goals, right? So in this way, it's sort of like two birds, one stone in this situation. Yes, you want to prioritize the downtime and be a little bit more flexible in your routine so you can, do what you enjoy as well as come to the service of others. And with Capricorn here, it means that, okay, well, if you want to do that, then let's connect with different types of people. Let's ask around and see who has actually made it, who has done it, how do the experts do it. Let's learn from the best. That type of situation. If you want to advance in your career so that you have more flexibility, then you might have to learn from the authorities you have right now and plan very methodically in order to achieve those goals. Same day, we have Venus in Leo squaring with Jupiter in Taurus. This one, Jupiter is your ruler. It's your ancient ruler. So apart from Neptune, Jupiter also rules you. And I'm going to say that this one is borderline, not really borderline. In the shadow side, it can be quite overindulgent. Okay, so your 6th house and your 3rd house is being activated again. So you might be very motivated to connect with just about everyone. And you want to do everything right then so that you have a very good week ahead. You might be very determined to, complete all of the chores and finish all of the documents and read everything. And so you have that sense of achievement and all of that. But towards the end, you might feel as though either you're feeling a little bit tired or you're like, oh, I can't keep this up. right? So in specific situations, this can be a very wonderful thing, like a one-off adventure, or it can be that some amazing conversation you have with someone that challenges you, but it also breaks you open and it's quite exciting. But on the downside, it can be that you're spending a lot of time doing something and you're tired at the end, and that's more of a highlight than the situation itself. So it's important to do what you would actually enjoy. With Leo and Taurus, they really like to look at what is my priority and what would make me the happiest. So looking at you instead of everyone else is going to be a good idea. Okay, next on the 15th. Okay, from now on, it's going to be a little bit interesting and important for you guys, because you are a mutable sign and we have a lot of squares activating your zodiac. We have Saturn there, we have Neptune there. Saturn is going to go retrograde on the 17th. Let's back up just a second. On the 15th, we have Mercury in Gemini squaring with Saturn in Pisces, right? So this is bringing into your focus your sign, your first house of personality, attitude, your development, personal development, your appearance. Maybe you want to switch things up, the way that you lead life, your attitudes in general. And also, we're bringing into focus your home and family. Where do you come from? Because your tendencies are not made only right now. There is an influence from the past that has brought you the way you are leading your life right now. The reality that you cultivate for yourself is pretty relative, it's pretty subjective. So are there some things you want to be changing? Maybe there's some things you are updating. With Saturn in Pisces, there can be the question of where do you stop yourself? Where do you sell yourself short? And Mercury in Gemini can mean that you're having an especially interesting conversation at home with yourself or with your family members, even the very close people who share your home space with you. Even they can offer some very useful insights that can break you open, and it might make you feel for a second that, oh my goodness, I didn't know I was holding myself back in this way, but yes, that's true. So it can be a bit of a harsher, but it is definitely very illuminating. And now on the 17th, Saturn turns retrograde, as I mentioned earlier. And this would mean that the information you found on the 15th, you're going to be implementing 17th onward. Okay, restructuring things, redefining yourself, redoing stuff that is going to make you feel a lot more free. On the 18th, we have a new moon in Gemini, and that's going to be squaring Neptune in your sign. See, I was mentioning there's so much activation going on with Pisces. And especially when you have mutable sign squares, this can feel a little bit vague and directionless. Maybe we're trying a lot of things. It's like trying to swim, but you're like kicking all of your limbs and you're not moving anywhere and you're still drowning. It's that type of situation. Moving a lot, talking a lot, doing a lot, but then not achieving too much. It can feel like that. But even those things that we experiment and try, they are especially useful. So the new moon we have on the 18th, that is going to be illuminating like that, okay? And there can be a lot of conversations you have at home, a lot of epiphanies you have deep down, or important ideas that come in that could lead to somewhere, but we don't yet know. It might not be practical, it might not be logical yet, or still like, yeah, I'm still in my comfort zone and I'm just about trying to move out of it, but I'm not yet ready to take on such big undertakings or completing so many ideas. On the other side, it can be that you have so many ideas that you might feel a little bit overwhelmed, or you have so many thoughts that you can't quite keep up emotionally. On the 19th, the moon moves on from Gemini, but we have the sun still there, and it is squaring with Neptune in Pisces. So the same thing repeats here, but there can be some extra bits of information or some clarity. There's some type of focus and narrowing down about what would be a better idea for you. So instead of thinking, maybe I could go swimming, but I could also take art and I could also do pottery, which are very different things. You can think about, I will go for swimming and I will try 3 days a week. I don't know if I can manage 3 days a week, but I'm gonna try. It's that type of quality. A lot more clarity here, a lot more focus, but still there's some vague stuff needing to be figured out. You might not know if you have the time yet or the commitment for it yet. On the 21st, we have the summer solstice and the sun moves into Cancer. So that's going to activate your 5th house. So do you have children? If so, you're focusing on them a lot more this time. they might be going through some prominent changes, or they are expressing themselves differently and they're wanting some attention. They are doing something that's appraisal worthy. So you're really paying some attention to them. If you don't have children, this is still talking about your inner child, listening to your inner voice and doing what your heart says, listening to your loved ones as well, because the same house talks about romance, dating, the fun parts of the dating life. Okay, so more dates possible over here, more enjoyment and entertainment in general. You're expressing yourself a lot more freely and feeling quite good while the sun is here. On the 25th, we have Mercury in Gemini, which is in its rulership, squaring with Neptune in Pisces, which is its rulership. So both of them being very strong in their positions. It's a little bit difficult to resolve this one. And since it is affecting you and your home space, there might be some decisions you're making regarding home and family, maybe some renovations and redecorations you're trying to think of 11th onwards, but you might feel a little bit confused 15th onwards. But I feel like the 25th one is going to offer the final confusion, okay? Because beyond this point, there are some things getting cleared out. So on the 25th, you might be like, I don't know, do I go with my logic or do I go with my heart? Do I go with what I would enjoy for the long haul or what makes sense right now? This is a real tug of war, okay? So be patient with yourself, be patient with the situations, and if you have to make decisions, maybe postpone it a little bit so you have more time to think on it. And also the following days are going to offer you some more clarity. So on the 26th, we have Mars in Leo squaring with Uranus in Taurus, and Leo is in your 6th house, Taurus is in your 3rd house. So again, your work life is getting in, and there might be quite a lot of changes happening in your nearby environment. So it can be your neighborhood, or it can be your colleagues going through some changes, unexpected paperwork or other developments that you have to deal with. Let's say you work with technology or something practical, some things just don't work, there's some type of misfiring or something like that can happen. Okay, it's very unexpected, so can't really keep guessing all of the options, but it might increase your work in some way. But Mars in Leo means that you have a lot of energy, a lot of stamina, so don't undersell yourself. And with square here, especially, it can mean that it feels a little bit stressful, but it can be done. Make sure to not push yourself beyond what is needed, though, okay? Because 3rd and 6th, and I would say drive carefully. Okay, drive carefully if you drive to work, cycle, bike, whatever your mode of transport is. 6th house is about your health, right? Your physical being. So while Mars is here, there is a likelihood of accidents or sprains and, little annoyances like that can make everyday movement a little bit difficult. So watch out for that. On the 27th, we have Mercury in Cancer. It moves from Gemini to Cancer, so that shifts your mental focus from your home and family into your 5th house of relationships, your romantic relationships, your children and childhood, and also your creativity. So I think whatever it is that was going on regarding your home and family is going to get resolved by this time, and any pending decisions you have are no longer prone to confusion. You can figure out what makes sense for you, and you're making the choice that is right for you. On the 29th, we have the Sun in Cancer trining with Saturn in Pisces. Again, we have the feel-good vibe coming in that we talked about on the 2nd of June, nicely wrapping up the end. And the Sun over here can illuminate your joy section, and you're just maybe watching a movie and you really enjoy it, or you're having a very lovely conversation with a loved one and it brings you a lot of peace and joy. Spending time near water, near nature, and things of that nature can bring you a lot of happiness. Okay, on the 30th, we have Neptune in Pisces going retrograde. So Neptune is a ruler, right? So it going retrograde can make you feel as though reality has set in, and that your imagination is not full blown. Your intuition might feel a little bit off, a little bit helter-skelter. So it's a different perspective for sure. Some people like it, some people don't. It's really dependent on your individual circumstance, also how you naturally are. But this can mean that reality that sets in and the disillusionment that happens is going to break you out of delusional cycle. So if you think that you are a very fearful person, or that you should be afraid of something, if you have an insecure attitude about something, that might become very blatantly clear on the 30th and moving forward. There's no more cushioning that Neptune does. It's not about, hey, it's okay, everything is all roses and sunshine. That's not going to happen anymore around this time. But we do have a trine aspect again on the same day, so I have a feeling that it's not going to be the worst Neptune retrograde. The disillusionment and the truth that comes out is going to help us figure things out down the line. Like, we can get some useful information, or we find some nice insights through ourselves, things we're trying, things we enjoy, and all of that. There can be the realization that actually I don't like to paint, actually I would like to be a designer, or I would like to be a spiritual leader, or something like that. Just because something is not working out does not mean that nothing else is. So the trine with Mercury in Cancer with Saturn in Pisces is going to help you figure things out almost immediately as the retrograde hits. So that's what I have for you. Thank you for being here. I really hope you enjoyed and that the messages help you out throughout the month. Stay tuned for the tarot reading for your zodiac sign as well. I will be uploading them soon. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified whenever that's up. And if you enjoyed the reading, please do like and comment your thoughts if you have any. It will be really lovely to hear back from you, and it really helps the channel grow as well. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye.